Welcome everyone to the stream on this morning. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Well, in today's lesson, I am going to teach you practice sentences for restaurants. Practice sentences for restaurants. And of course, I'm not talking about fast food restaurants, but actually conversations that you can have when you go to a sit down restaurant. So I have several sentences, close to about 15 or 20. And we're going to have a good time on today. So I hope that you're ready. As always, I am going to have quiz questions throughout today's lesson. And so you want to make sure that you're paying attention so you can get those correct. I hope you're ready to have a good time. I hope you're ready to learn. I think on the last stream, I was having too much fun. So if you missed that one, make sure you go back and watch that one. Okay, so when you first arrive to the restaurant, these are some of the things that you want to say in English when you get there. So you may see someone that works at the restaurant and you may ask them, where is parking? Okay, where is parking? Whether it be self-parking or valet parking, if you did not walk or ride a bike or use public transportation, you will be in your vehicle and you need to know where to park. Okay. Here in this country, you can park at the restaurant or you can park several blocks down from the restaurant at public parking, and then you would walk to the restaurant. So it just depends on how the restaurant is set up, but you would ask, where is parking? Now, if it is paid parking, such as valet parking, you would ask, how much is valet parking? And valet parking is parking that you pay for at the door, and they will have an attendant take the keys to your car and drive it to a special area to park, give you a ticket. And when you come out of the restaurant, you present the ticket and they will go get your car and bring it back. Now, I rarely do valet parking. I just don't like other people in my car. Whether the car is clean or it's a little junky, I just don't like to have strangers in my car. I always feel like they'll go through my personal belongings, but that's just me. But if necessary, I'll pay valet parking. And there are some restaurants, they require valet parking. Okay. Now, once you arrive to the restaurant and you see the attendant at the front before you're seated, you will tell them, I have a party of 2, or I have a group of 4. Okay. Or you may just be by yourself, but you would let them know, because they'll usually ask how many. And so you'll say, I have a party of 14. You're going to be there for a while if you have that many people. Okay. Then they may ask you, do you have reservations? And you may say, we do or do not have reservations. And so reservations are simply when you call ahead and let the restaurant know that you and your party will be there at a certain time. And so they will have everything ready for you. You usually will not have to wait, and you just come in and let them know your name, and they'll take you right to your seats. Reservations. Now, since the pandemic, most reservations are done online without even making a phone call to the restaurant. So reservations help make your experience a little more convenient and quick. Now, before you go to your seat, some people want to freshen up. They may use the restroom, may wash their hands. And so you would ask, which way is the restroom, or which way is the bathroom? Depending on the country you may be in, what do you call the restroom? Is it simply just a restroom? Or is it bathroom? Or is it another slang term that you use? Let me know down in the comments section if it is something different. Some restaurants we have to drive far to, maybe an hour and a half, or you may be out of town and you just need to go to the bathroom and freshen up before you eat. And so you would say, which way is the restroom? Here's our first pop quiz question for the first section of today. What is your favorite dish at a restaurant? I'm curious. What is your favorite dish at a restaurant? This is a personal question, so I'll be the first to participate. One of my favorite dishes in the last couple of years is lobster rolls. Okay. They have these at fine dining restaurants and casual type restaurants, but it's something about lobster rolls. And so a lobster roll is fresh lobster, not the fake or imitation lobster. And they put it in between a piece of bread that's toasted, and they put the melted butter on it, or they'll have the melted butter on the side. Oh, it's just so good. And you can get it hot or cold. I prefer mine hot. And I just love them. And usually you'll get them with a side of potato chips or French fries. And so that is a lobster roll. And that's one of my favorite dishes. Now, another favorite dish of mine when I go to a restaurant are lamb chops. Oh my goodness. Now, lamb chops is just a piece of lamb. And I just love lamb chops. The seasoning, they taste so good. When they're prepared properly, those are my two favorite dishes when I go to a restaurant. So if you can share yours, let me know down in the comment section. What is your favorite dish at a restaurant that you go to? And you may have to describe it depending on the country that you are from. If it's chicken, beef, fish, let us know down in the comment section. I love learning different things. So these are some conversations and sentences that you can say when seated at the restaurant. What is your name? So you'll have a waiter or a waitress that will serve you, and they usually tell your name, but if you're like me, you forget. So you have to ask, can you tell me your name again? Or what is your name? I like to call people by their name or their nickname. And so this is a sentence that you would use when you are seated at the restaurant. Then you'll say, may I have a menu? Oftentimes they'll give you a menu once you're seated. Sometimes if I have to wait to be seated 10, 15 minutes, I'll ask ahead of time, may I have a menu? So while I'm waiting, I can go ahead and determine what I want to eat. And me and my wife will sit there and just look at the menu while we're waiting to be seated. Or, of course, you can do it at the table. Now, the older I am getting, I have to remember to take my glasses to the restaurant so I can read the menu. Oh my gosh. And you can tell I'm getting a little bit older because sometimes if I forget my glasses, I'll have to use my phone. Am I the only one that does this? I'll go to my camera app and I have to increase the letters on the menu or zoom in so I can read the tiny print on the menu. That's just me. So if you're young and you can see that menu, hey, let me tell you, you are very blessed and fortunate. But I have to have glasses now when I go to the restaurant. We want appetizers. We want appetizers, please, is another sentence. So an appetizer, some people call them starters, and they may be called something different in your country, but it's the meal that it's like a sample of a meal that you have before your main meal. Okay. So you may have chicken wings, you may have calamari, which is squid. You may have something that I like, crab cakes. You may have that as an appetizer, and it's not a large portion, but it's a sample before you get your main dish. And here recently, I have been getting appetizers with my meal. And I used to didn't do that because I didn't want to spend an extra few dollars. But now I enjoy the experience, and I try to taste something different when we go to different restaurants. So an appetizer, and you would just simply say, we want appetizers, please, or may we order an appetizer? Another sentence you can use at a restaurant is, may I have extra ice or no ice in my drink, please? May I have extra ice or no ice? Some people love ice. Some people dislike it because it's too cold on their gums. But this is a sentence that you can let your server know how you would want your drink prepared. No ice or extra ice. May we have extra bread? Now, depending on the restaurant, most restaurants will give you 3 pieces of bread before your meal comes. And if you're very hungry, you'll more than likely eat all of the bread before your course comes out. Now, my wife, she'll taste the bread, but she'll get full. So she'll only, she's not a big bread eater. And so she'll just have a little bit of bread, but I'll eat the whole loaf. And then say, may I have some more of that bread, please? Or may I have extra bread, please? Now, if you're at a restaurant you haven't been before, or it's a restaurant that you have been before, but you want to try something different, or you're unsure of what is good, you can ask your waiter or waitress, what do you recommend? Okay. And you can ask them, what do you like? Or what is popular? Or what do you recommend that I try? And depending on how they describe the dish, I may go with their recommendation or not. But you can ask the server, what do you recommend? Now, with technology, I'll go on Instagram and I'll look the restaurant up and look up pictures of different foods that are at that restaurant. And that will help me determine what I want to eat. But you can always ask, what do you recommend? Here's another quiz question. Let's test your knowledge. The main course of a meal is called the what? The main course of a meal is called the, let's see if you can get that correct. Okay, let's go on to our last section for today. So while you're eating, these are some sentences that you can use while you're eating. Okay. I did not order this. Sometimes they bring you the wrong meal. Okay. Or sometimes they get your order wrong. And so you have to tell them politely, I did not order this. Now, for me, when I go to restaurants, if they mess up my order, I am trying to be as nice as possible because I don't know what people may do to my food in the back. And so you just politely say, I did not order this. Okay. Now, if the food is not good, again, you politely say, this food is terrible. Or if it's pleasing, you would just say, this is good. So it just depends. Thankfully, if you have a great server, they will ask, would you like to exchange your meal, or would you like to change it if you don't like it? And they won't give you an additional charge. So I appreciate that, but I've only had one experience that I can remember over the years where I went to a restaurant and the meal was just, it was nasty. and I asked them, could they exchange it? And they did. So this food is good or this food is terrible. Now, if it's terrible, you will have to say, can you take this back? Okay. You don't want to be like, get this out of my face. I'm telling you, I don't want anyone to spit in my food, put my food on the floor, or just do something unseemly and bring it back to me. And so I will just ask, can you take this back? Another sentence you can use at a restaurant is, may I have extra blank? So you may say, may I have extra pepper? Or may I have some extra steak sauce? Or may I have some extra napkins or additional napkins? So that is one sentence you can practice. May I have extra? And it's whatever you need. Okay. Another sentence that you can practice while at a restaurant is, what is good for dessert? Now, oftentimes I get full off of the appetizers, a salad, and my main course. And I rarely get dessert, but if I feel like I can eat it, I'll try some desserts, because some restaurants have some very different type desserts and they're worth trying out, whether it be a cake, a pie, or something. So you ask, what is good for dessert? And then you would say, once you're finished, may I have the bill, please? So the bill is what you owe. Okay, it's not going to be free. So may I have the bill, please? And this is funny. My wife, she never pays for the bill. I think one time she has, but I usually pay. And she always wants to know, how much was it? And I'm like, well, are you paying? So may I have the bill, please? And finally, I love to tell the waitress or the server, you did an excellent job. Okay, so this sentence you would say to compliment the person who has been waiting on you throughout your time at the restaurant. If they did a good job, I give them a good tip and I let them know you did an excellent job. Thank you for waiting on me. All right. Now, this question is odd, and you may not hear most teachers ask this question, but I'm going to ask it. If there is a bug or hair in your food, when you go to a restaurant, what would you do? If there is a bug or a piece of hair that's not yours in your food, what would you do? Let me know down in the comments section. Would you make a big scene? Oh my goodness. Get this roach out of my, what would you do? Just let me know down in the comments section. Okay, before we get out of here, I love to talk about comments. Let's look at some of the recent comments. I have started doing stories, teaching English through stories. And I think I have 4 stories now on the channel, and you can go back and look at those. I also have a playlist. They're short stories. And here are some comments on some of the recent stories. Great story. I did a funny story earlier this week. And so they said, great story from Rattleslaw. And he said, thanks. I said, thanks. I thought it was hilarious. Great story. I enjoyed it a lot. I said, thanks. It made me chuckle. And finally, funny story. And I said, thanks. It brightened my day. So it seems that you guys are enjoying the short story, so I will keep that going. Thank you so much for the comments that you left concerning that particular story. It was very funny. It was called The Old Dog. Well, if you have made it to the end of today's lesson, thank you so much for watching today's lesson. Didn't get any chat messages today, but that's okay. I see that we have had a few viewers, and I know that we'll have some come back and watch this lesson a little bit later. But thank you so much for spending a little time with me. And if I have helped you understand and speak English just a little bit better, I would appreciate a like. So make sure you hit that like button. You know what it looks like. And I hope that you join me on my next English lesson. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed today's lesson, be sure to hit the like button and the subscribe button. Also, enjoy these videos that will help you understand and speak better English. My name is Jay, and I hope you join me on my next lesson.